Love hug. Love hug. Ah, you look gorgeous. Ooh, it's snowing out. Not there?
No, you're a little bit higher elevation.
Wow.
Actually, your weather comes to me.
Okay, well, it's
So,
on. I'm sending my snow to you.
hey, I'm facing you. Bring it on.
Jess lives like maybe a mile as the crow flies from here.
Almost exactly.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hi.
All right. What's on tap today?
Well, we were talking about relationships
Juicy.
and
I love it.
yeah, and kind of comparing relationship with self to relationship with other through looking at them as orientations of relationship with self being a vertical relationship, a vertical channel relationship, and relationship with other being a horizontal relationship. And that's just something that really helps me in my life to think of
Mhm.
my connection to myself is vertical channel and my connections to others is horizontal channel. And what's primary for me is vertical,
Mm.
is staying connected to myself. Because way too much in my life, having kind of raised myself as a people pleaser and being desperate to be liked and loved and feel secure in relationships, I've kind of fallen into the horizontal channel as an MO, and it's very uncomfortable for me. So I tend to isolate so I can get back to my vertical channel.
Interesting.
So now if I can maintain my vertical channel while I'm in relationship, then I'm okay. But the
Right.
horizontal channel is very unstable for me.
That's what I was going to say. It's unstable for me too. It's probably unstable for a lot of people out there, absolutely for sure. And that is something that I'm actively working on with your support is finding that vertical channel and resting in myself, having my whole self here. And then when I'm go horizontal, reaching out, then it doesn't really matter what drama is happening or what play or what conversations happening outside because there's this is a home. This is home. It's a huge shift for me. It's solidifying more now. I can feel that more now than in the past.
Mm.
So how did you find it? Like what was your aha to shift from horizontal to vertical?
I know that I felt like with my therapy clients that I was always trying too hard. Like I was trying to kind of go inside them to understand them and to help them feel like I was really with them. So
Mhm.
as I'm doing this, I'm kind of leaning in, I'm kind of
Right.
showing you what it's like, how I felt. My posture felt very forward. I probably had my whale eye, just kind of like out. And it was uncomfortable for me, and I don't think it was comfortable for them either. It came from
Right.
like a desire to kind of really know them and to really transmit to them that I was with them.
Which all good intentions, but that energy can be a little off-putting and like a little or a lotta too much
Yeah,
and
yeah.
kind
It's
of do the
invasive.
opposite of what you're wanting. Like it's
It's
like,
invasive.
whoa, hey,
Yeah.
back up, lady.
Yeah. Yeah, people need space to be themselves. They don't necessarily want to be entered. So for some reason, I made that assumption that people would want me to be like actually inside their minds. But it's much better for me to stay over here, stay connected to my whole self,
Hmm.
and just be in a place of kind of open curiosity and kind of share the space with
Hmm.
them.
I had a lover in the past who was really sensitive to energy. And he actually was really helpful. He could call it in the moment. He could tell when I was leaning in and lost my center.
Hmm.
And he would have like a physical reaction and tell me. And then it was like a reminder for me to like, okay, and like even physically, like tipping forward and
Mhm.
then sitting up and placing my head on top of my spine.
Right.
And like there was this relaxation that happened in him and then between us and in me, like all those pieces, three different places, because I was here, I wasn't leaning in. It was really great, that reflection. I mean, he was super sensitive. He could tell right when it happened and call me out right
Amazing.
away.
I can feel it when other people do it to me. I definitely can feel it, when
Mhm.
and somebody's like, and I've taught you this term, ellipting. It's from Nia. People
Mhm.
ellipt onto the other person, where it's like all of my attention is on and in you, and then the opposite is
Uh,
splitting,
uh-huh.
which is all the attention is in myself, and then the middle is 50-50 or 100-100, which you
Mm.
stay inside
Ooh.
yourself. You stay inside yourself, but you also attune to the other. So from inside yourself, blend. It's called blending. You can be
Mm.
with the other and kind of, yeah, attune to that space between you.
I love 100-100, because
Hmm.
you think like 50-50 is an even split, but no, it's like fully here
Yeah,
and fully there,
yeah,
but it's not, you're not split, like blended. I really like the 100-100. For some reason, that just like, ooh, because it's different. It's a different way of thinking about it.
yeah.
And I was thinking too, what you said is like some people don't like to be entered. I was thinking about consent.
Hmm.
And there's sometimes when a lifting is exactly what I want, and I
Hmm.
really want somebody's full attention on me and that kind of intensity when it's consensual, when I'm open to it, when I'm wanting to receive it or give it back. Like in that relationship, it's a yes,
Hmm.
but it has to be with consent.
Yeah, and it's good if both people are conscious of what they're doing, like you were saying about that lover, how he was so sensitive, so he knew what you were doing and then gave you the reflection that that's what you were doing. And then you can
Mhm.
make the decision, is this what we want,
Right, right.
Yeah, yeah, kind of tracing the energy that way and being aware of
Mm.
that. Yeah.
So, how does one access their central channel, vertical channel?
Vertical channel. I can do a quick little meditation. I can't believe it's snowing out.
It's not here yet.
I can't believe it's not snowing there. It's like so close. Oh, we can see the blue sky over your house. Okay, I'll just do the very briefest meditation, and then if people would like an audio recording of the longer version of this meditation, they can get in touch with me and I'll send them an audio.
Great.
Um, so basically, first you can close your eyes and just relax and feel that you're inside your body. Let yourself breathe the air in the room and feel it entering your body and then leaving your body. And make contact with yourself inside your feet. Feel that you're inside your feet. And feel that you're inside your whole body all at once, including your feet. And then to find the central channel, just find the place where your body contacts your seat. If you happen to be sitting down, contacts the chair, and just let that be a foundation and rest into the seat below you and feel the support of the seat below you. And inhabit, meaning locate yourself, feel that you're inside that whole area, every part that makes contact with your seat. And find your pelvic floor, just kind of a rectangular shape from the genital area back to the sits bones. And then find the center of the pelvic floor. And the way that I find that is, for me, it feels like it's just anterior or towards the front of the body of the anus. So just right on the perineum, but right in front of the anus. And that's the place you want to find a point right there, an energetic point, and let that point relax. And it naturally will open, and you can receive an upward moving current of energy that comes up through that point into your pelvis. But you don't draw the current up, you relax the point, and the current just naturally comes up. And then from there, you can find points all along the core of the body, the center of the midsection, in front of the spine. Find a point inside the midsection, which is like your belly area. right in front of the spine. You find a point there and relax it, release it, and let the current come up into that point. And then find a point in your chest, between your sternum and your spine, the heart chakra. Relax that point and let the current come up into that point. And then inside the neck, find a point inside your neck, the throat chakra. Relax that point and allow the current to rise up into that point. And then the last one is the center of the head, which is a very special point. We can talk about that more some other time. Finding the center of the head, energetic point, relaxing that point and receive the upward moving current of energy into the center of your head. And from there, allowing the current to pass up and out through the top of the head. And you need to soften the crown of the head in order for the current to pass through it. Otherwise, it just hits it like a ceiling. So the top of the head needs to be gently settled and softened, and then the current can pass through. And then you can feel that whole central channel, an energetic current that goes from the below the center of the pelvis, the pelvic floor, up through the crown. And it's called the subtle core of the body. The thread of energy rises through the subtle core of the body. And the more we can attune to that and find it, I mean, I've been doing this now for several years, and I can find it no matter where I'm at now through my day. At first, it was kind of theoretical, and I had to kind of create a template by finding all those points and believing that it was there, and then one day all of a sudden I was like, zoop! I was like, oh my gosh, there's the current. And now I can just find it anytime pretty much. And that's where I feel my life kind of dangles on that thread. And that thread makes everything okay. When I dangle on that thread, I am not at all gripping onto anything. My whole body actually kind of has to be relaxed in order to really feel the current all the way through. And I mean, I can feel some grippings in my hip flexors. It's not like I'm totally relaxed, but on some level, I have to really release my gripping in order to really locate myself as that thread, on that thread. And that for me is a place of deep peace, to not be gripping, and definitely not in my thought body, definitely not, trapped in my thinking mind. Because in order to feel that whole current, you have to be really embodied. You can't just
Mm-hmm.
be in your thinking mind up here.
Mm-hmm.
You have to actually feel yourself in your body to feel the whole current. So that's the vertical channel.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk about your experience of that meditation?
First of all, it's snowing.
Ah, yay! It's raining here. It stopped. It moved over.
We've done this before, so it's not completely new for me. But what is super cool about that is as soon as I located the point in my perineum,
Perineum.
and as soon as you said soften, what also happened, and I learned the connection of this in my yoga training years ago, is the roof of my mouth softened simultaneously.
Mm.
And then I was immediately, it was cool to do that meditation and going slowly up, and that was super cool. But I felt the connection already. I felt that channel because simultaneously they both softened and opened. And there is a connection. I don't know if it's a vagal nerve thing or I don't know what it is, but
I
there's
don't
some kind of
know.
connection between the soft palate, which is right behind the hard palate on top of your
Mhm.
mouth. If you can stick your tongue back as far as you can go, there's this connection between that and relaxing the pelvic floor.
Nice.
So I felt that immediately, which was beautiful. And then the way that you walked up the steps, and then when you said don't draw it up, just let it rise, it felt like locks opening.
Mm.
Like the water just rises. Like you open it and just wait, and the water rises. And then
Yeah.
you open it and just wait, and the water rises. And there was something
Mm.
really beautiful about the waiting and
Mm.
not rushing, not pushing, not gripping,
Gripping. Yeah.
but just like resting in it and allowing it to happen without forcing it.
Yeah.
It was really beautiful, and it didn't take very long.
Hmm.
You know, one of the things I remember learning and then sharing and then forgetting is like when you drive someplace, turn off your car and just wait. Don't just jump out of the car into the next thing. Like take 3 breaths
Yeah.
or do this simple meditation, like open the channels and just wait. Let the water rise.
Right.
Just pause.
Hmm.
Just for even if it's just one breath, just to really like arrive. You know, that I talk about this too. I love this idea. There's like an energetic jet lag where we show up someplace, we're physically there, but we're not all there. You know, like take the time to fully arrive someplace and stay in that vertical channel, stay in yourself.
Yeah.
That's just, it's simple, it's easy to forget, but it also doesn't take very much time. It's like just getting a new groove, getting a new pattern.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, just get someplace and just pause,
Yeah.
which goes back to this saying that was attributed to Buddha, but who knows who actually said it, but some wise person said, in response to don't just sit there, do something and flip it over and say, don't just do something, sit there. I love that.
I wanted to just mention my tendency to be a workaholic, that I work all the time. We were just talking about the art of not doing.
Mhm.
And it's so important for me to do just what you were saying, just find time to just take a breath. And I actually do it with eating as much as I can, where there's times when even though I'm working, I really have to stop to eat and to go to the bathroom.
Mhm.
Those are times when I just have to stop and oh, I try to really ritualize, especially the eating one. Maybe not so much the going to the bathroom, but that's new for me too. I have a new approach to going to the bathroom, which is pleasure focused, going to the bathroom. But especially with eating, I really focus on pleasure. And even though it's not totally not doing, it is a break from working. And then I've been using my pets actually lately for my not doing, and it's still kind of doing something because I feel like I'm being with them and I'm connecting with them, but I can really rest into like I'm just gonna lay here with the animals for a little while. I can really just be, and I just love that. I'm attempting to move towards more not doing.
I don't think not doing necessarily means like sitting in complete stillness. I think it's more of an awareness and a mindfulness. So when you're petting your animals, you're physically doing a thing, but it's in this sort of different way of being rather than like production doing or doing in order to something.
Right, like going for a walk.
Yeah,
We're still doing something, even if we cut out everything, we're still going to be breathing,
right,
our blood is moving. We can't really stop everything.
right.
Ah, enter Mouse.
Mouse,
Mouse
Mouse
the
for those
cat.
who are listening is a cat.
Mouse the
Mouse
cat.
is my cat.
Yeah, he just walked across the screen. So I feel like he might have shown up to just. Animals are such great teachers about just
Mhm.
being.
Yeah.
Yeah. So our relationships with our pets. Now I have relationships with my pottery. I have these new mugs out that I'm like in love with, and I like practicing relationship stuff with non-humans. I think it helps to figure out, how to be in the vertical channel and in relationship at the same time.
Mhm.
It's easier to do it with a non-human, and then you can do it with humans.
It's, my relationship with, I just have always had a cat since I was an adult. And there's something about having another creature to be with and the warmth and their heartbeat and just being with them. It is a relationship, but it doesn't take me out of myself. It's not like I don't have to like, I'm not seeking their approval or
Right.
contorting myself to be a certain way or walking on eggshells around them or like doing anything but being me.
Yeah. What is it about animals that they're so loyal to us and so committed to us and love us unconditionally? Like that unconditional love is so special and precious. And feel like it really does nurture that vertical channels because we feel safe. We don't feel like we have to do something to get their love. We don't feel like we have to like trick them into loving us or manipulate anything or strategize anything, or we feed them, but that's kind of like an implicit commitment when you have an animal,
It's
just
true.
like we feed ourselves.
I read an article recently about this woman who had some relationship trauma growing up, and her therapist suggested that she sleep with a stuffed animal. And she poo-pooed it for a while, and then it came up again, and she said, "Fine, fine, I'll try it." And she actually said it changed her life. Something that's there that was close with her, that she could snuggle with, that was not gonna um, push her buttons or whatever, but something to be intimate with. There was like an intimacy, like a safety in this stuffed animal. And honestly, I've been sleeping with a stuffed animal since I moved away to college. Like I didn't really have one growing up, not the one that I like slept with every night. But when I left for college, my parents bought me a teddy bear and they said, "You'll always have somebody to hug now." That teddy bear became kind of mangy and like lives in the back of my closet now because I can't throw him away. New one.
Joss
I
is
mean,
like, will you throw me away?
no, no, I will never throw you away. And for people who are only listening, he just looked up at me with these like eyes, like, what? The
Throw
back of the closet?
right? Is that where I'm gonna go?
And so I sleep with a stuffed animal every single night. And when I travel, it's big. He's kind of big. So I don't, if I'm doing carry on or whatever, I don't bring him, but I bring what I call, his name is Puddles. My stuffed animal's name is Puddles. But I
Hmm.
bring what I call the proxy puddle, which is like this tiny little pillow. It's like my
Oh,
travel pillow. It's my proxy puddles. Just there's something really like, and I reach for it in the middle of the night. Like, where's Puddles? Like, I'll actually turn on the light if I can't find him. It's like it's that important to me. If you're not sleeping with a stuffed animal, listeners, go try it. Get it.
or a real one. Like I like literally cuddle Numair, my cat now. Like I like scoop him up and I like spoon him and he just purrs and he just loves it. And this morning he was like under the blanket and it's so beautiful and special. It's such a nice way to practice being in relationship and connected to yourself, and how relationship can really just feed us and fortify our own central channel, our own vertical core. It's like we can draw the animal in and have it be a part of us somehow. Yeah, we don't have to do too much for it. Even things, plants, like pretty much anything. You could choose anything in your environment to be in relationship with. A color, you could be in relationship with a color.
A couple of years ago, when we were there were all these wildfires around, and there was some nearby evacuations. We were never in danger, but it made me think, like, okay, if I did have to evacuate, like, what's important to me? What things are important? And
Hmm.
it was like, our some wedding pictures, which of course are all digital, so that would be fine too. I have a pair of shoes, like my dance go boots. Like for some reason, like it was like those, which is silly. It's boots. I can find other boots, but like it was just something that was like these are home to me. These are comfort. These are stability. These, which which was ridiculous, but it was an interesting um, exercise, and we talked about it as a family, like I mean, the cat, obviously, but that's a family member. But like,
Yeah.
what things are important? And really, it was very little. It was
Hmm.
very little.
Yeah.
One of my Amy mugs.
They might survive the fire.
They've been fired before.
Right, exactly. But if things fell down, they would probably
That's
break.
true. Mhm.
I had a dream once, and I'll just never forget it, that my house was on fire and that the one thing I really wanted was to run in and get all the Afghans that my mother crocheted, like and
Mhm.
knitted,
Right.
that those were precious to me. And I remember like just in the dream, like I had to go back into the house
Mhm.
and save those.
That's a relationship to connect you with your mom. And actually, right before we started the podcast, you actually put on one of the sweaters that she knit, this
Right. These
giant
things,
Afghan sweater.
yeah, these things I don't know what to do with. I have to give them
Yeah,
away. But
right, right.
the blankets I'll keep,
But it's a relationship. It's that relationship. And it's
Yeah,
beautiful. It's
yeah,
beautiful. And
yeah,
very different than a horizontal relationship. That horizontal plane.
yeah,
It
yeah,
can be, it's beautiful. And I love my relationships with other people. I love them. And I tend towards losing myself in them. So finding that balance,
yeah.
finding that 100-100.
Right. Yeah. I remember once I went to a healer and she was like into doing cord cutting. And I just liked that concept that like there were cords that I had between me and other people that were kind of keeping me stuck somehow or limiting me because there
Mm,
were like these horizontal cords. And by cutting them, cutting the cords I had to other people, I could live in the vertical line and other people could live in the vertical line. And now that I'm talking about it, it's reminding me of bumper cars. You know how like in a bumper car you have like this
oh
thing that's
yeah.
like touching the top that kind of
Uh-huh.
keeps that's where the power comes from is that like
Uh-huh.
vertical channel,
Ooh.
but you
Uh-huh.
bump into other people and you're like playing with other people. It's like fun to like run it and bump into other people and do that thing. So you're still interacting, but your power comes from that
Vertical.
that vertical channel. Yeah.
Interesting. Huh.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like that. And it allows other people to change. Like when we have that horizontal cord, it's like it binds us and it binds them as opposed like as though there's a an unspoken contract that they have to be a certain way and I have to be a certain way, in
Mm-hmm.
relationship. And that's the problem with the
Mm.
horizontal cord is that it sticks people into roles. It binds people into roles.
I just have the image of it as a leash, keeping people
Yeah.
on a leash.
Yeah.
And you talk about that a lot is having people on long leashes, like
Yeah, long loose
giving
leashes.
them like plenty of room to roam and to grow and to explore and to change.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing to have and we talk about cords between people and that connection is beautiful. It's so beautiful, so beautiful. But
Yes.
but let the tension out, like we're like a
Yeah.
long leash.
Yeah, when it's like that gripping one, it's like it becomes like a steel bar between the two of you as opposed to a flexible, movable
Mhm,
bumper car kind of
mhm,
connection, where like you can be you and I can be me
right.
and
So one of
we're
the things I love about my relationship with Jesse, my husband Jesse, is from the very beginning, like our wedding vows. We created our wedding vows separate, unbeknownst to the other, what they were going to say. And when we said them, it was the same thing, and it was just that. It was basically, I love who I know you to be, and I will love whomever you become, and I will support
Mm,
you in becoming the most you can possibly be, which is very different than, stay, we're gonna stay together till death do us part.
right, no matter
Come
what.
hell or high water, we're gonna stay together. And actually, my vows to him, I remember my dad gasped when I said, I take you, Jesse Randall Donahue, to be exactly as you are. I
Mm,
remember her actually, or or maybe not my mom, one of my parents actually audibly went, oh, because it was so different.
yeah,
And that's how we live our marriage,
yeah,
totally, totally loving. And we've been together for 25 years. There's been lots of changes, and just loving and supporting one another the whole way.
oh,
Long leash. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's really just been amazing. Amazing.
yes, so beautiful. It takes a lot of trust and it takes a lot of connection to self, to allow another person to really be free,
Yeah.
to try to not bind them. It's totally my commitment in my relationships is I never want to stop another person from living their best life. Like if being with me is any kind of sacrifice, then let's change things. I really don't want it to be any sacrifice that they're giving up some other better life for what? For a concept? For like a karma? Like, what is it? Like, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want
Mhm.
anybody at my party who doesn't want to be there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clinging and gripping is totally fear-based.
Hmm.
And I think about this, I love the analogy of the river. Clinging, gripping, holding tight to the rocks along the riverbank, you're gonna get freaking banged up, and letting go and trusting. God, it takes so much trust.
Yeah.
And then kick up your heels and float downstream, and there are parts are gonna be a bumpy ride and parts are gonna be like smooth sailing. But regardless, like gripping is sure to tear you up.
Yeah. Totally. So much effort
Yeah.
and fear.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the river will take you where you need to go. Just go down feet first. Feet
Exactly. Kick your heels up,
first.
float downstream. Feet first.
Yeah.
Bring a life jacket and a helmet and support.
Yeah. 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 Be smart.
Don't be dumb, but relax.
Just watch out for the gripping. Yeah.
Yeah.
In all parts of our lives, in all parts of our bodies. Where do we grip? in
Hmm.
all parts of our relationships. Where do we cling? Where do we grip? Where do we want people not to change? Where do we want things to stay one certain way or be different than they are? How can we like release that and trust and just be in the vertical plane, connect to the vertical line?
Was it a friend of yours who said that we're all non-monogamous?
Oh yeah, a friend of mine said, yeah, believes that, yeah, that if people were to be truly honest, here's what she says. She's like, if it wasn't going to hurt anybody else, if everything would be totally fine, and you could have, let's say, two lovers or three lovers, wouldn't you do it? Like, wouldn't you? Would you not? Who would not take that? That's her thing. It's like, who would say no to that if like everything would be okay? But the thing is, like, would it be okay with you for your partner to have two or three lovers?
Right,
Like, then it's kind
right,
of like, there comes the gripping.
right. You
It's
can
like
feel it in your body, the contraction.
the fear of, yeah, losing something or whatever that means. And we have generations and generations of undoing that if we're going to get rid of that jealousy because that's what we were
Right,
raised in and with,
right,
and
totally.
all that fear is
It's
like very
interesting. Speaking of contraction, this is I don't know if this is going to make the cut, but I think it's interesting that contraction, when you feel it in your body, is like a like a hold back, like a fear.
yeah.
But and orgasm is a contraction that that is like celebrated, like that kind of contraction, and then the release is
Hmm.
like that's a good contraction. Like what if we approached contractions, like the contraction from fear, the same way we approach like orgasm?
Well, that's an interesting thing that you're saying, and I do think it's another podcast because my greatest goal with my orgasms is to not contract at all, is to stay
Ooh.
relaxed. Yeah, this is from the art the art of sexual magic, the art of sexual ecstasy. This woman, she's French. I can't remember her name right now, but yeah, that's her whole thing is like, that we are kind of trained through watching porn and whatever to like grip onto orgasm, to chase orgasm, to grip,
Hmm.
to tighten up, to tighten our toes and arch our backs and everything grips. She's like, there's a whole other kind of orgasm. If you want to have a full body orgasm, start breathing and being in your whole body. It's an embodied orgasm, and relax. And that is a whole different kind of orgasm.
Oh, let's do a whole podcast on that.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Coming
planning
soon,
a whole
listeners. Full
cohort.
body orgasms. Okay, back
Yeah.
on track. Back,
So that's
let's bookmark that one.
Yeah, and that really is my meditation is just I can feel my body just like kind of starting to contract and I just constantly relax. And that's why I don't chase orgasms anymore because I'd much rather be in a heightened sexual state and relaxed than chasing is gripping. Chasing the
Right.
orgasm is a gripping, and trying
That's
to have an
true.
orgasm is a gripping. And the way that we are like trained to have orgasms, like I don't know, but there's for me
Mm.
at least, I'll say there has been a gripping and a tightening that I try to not have
Huh.
and work towards not having.
Cool.
Yeah, full body relaxation. Yeah, during orgasm. Bookmark.
Bookmark. Okay. And anything else you want to cover today?
I guess we can leave it with this image. We've been talking about this. It was in a dream of mine recently of having my face pressed up against a window of a bus or a train and watching the pine trees go by and just relaxing into this just being and just letting life pass by. And Jim Croce song in my head. It was just like this memory for me from childhood of just being in the moment and being okay with change. It's like how fast when you're watching trees go by on the highway. If you're still and the trees are going by, it's so fast. And it just reminds me of just life and how short it is and how fast things happen and how much we miss and letting all that be okay. You know, yeah,
I love that image. For me, there's something just really poignant and beautiful. And
yeah,
like it's going so fast, you can't grip. You just have to watch.
yeah,
Can't touch. You just have to watch.
yeah,
Just let it flow.
yeah.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. Is there anything you want to say?
I just feel like we just gave each other big love hugs.
Yeah, yeah. It's all about giving ourselves the big love hug.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks,
Well, happy
Amy.
holidays to everyone. I bet we won't have another podcast until probably next
Next
year.
year. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe this is the end of season one.
Maybe. Ooh, maybe we should start the new year with a bang with
Season two.
orgasms.
Yes, that sounds good. Relax Orgasms. Season two.
All
All
right,
right.
sweetheart. I love you so much.
Mwah, I love you too.
Thanks
And
for listening out there. Love you guys
yes,
too.
sending love to everyone. Bye bye. Can we do the bye bye?
Bye bye.
See you later.